everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the League on Wheels podcast. My name's Andy Walker, and I am again joined by my co-host and good friend, Tom Oates. How are we doing, Tom?
Long weekend, mate.
Long weekend. Do you want to tell us about your weekend in Benidorm?
Oh, sure. Well, went to Benidorm for a mate's stag do, and I've just realised that I'm not put out for them anymore.
Too old.
Too old for it, and I'm never going to do it again. I only lasted half a day, and then that was it.
Too old and falling apart.
Hips fell apart, and could no longer walk again, so that's me.
3 drinks in a weekend, we're done. 3 drinks in a weekend, we're done. Well, unfortunately for us, and I hope so for you as well, that you feel really sad and happy about this, but this is our last podcast for a little while, only for a short while at least. So this is our 2025 grand finale special, and how else to finish off a season than with asking along the people who are involved at the 2025 grand final.
Got a right gang today, haven't we?
We've got a right gang. That's why as rooms change a little bit, I hope you like this little setup. Maybe we'll see it more, see if we enjoy it ourselves. But please do welcome along from London Roosters, Coyd.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Halifax Panthers, Rob Hawkins.
Yes.
And from Power Hockey UK, GB Power Hockey. I'll get it right in there. We'll say we'll carry on as we are.
One day, Andy.
I'll get it right one day. GB Power Hockey, Ellis Palmer. Thanks for coming along, lads.
Cheers, excited.
Are you all excited to be here?
Yeah.
A little bit nervous?
I don't think so. I talk quite a lot. And I don't know
cameras,
Yeah.
Well, you've had to get on now. Your brother on here a few weeks ago.
I did a good job as well, so I thought I might as well try and.
So now
get
one over better than him.
Yeah, I probably won't, but
feel the pressure. Feel the pressure. Right, we'll crack on then straight into the grand final day. It all started off with Rochdale versus Castleford Tigers. Did you lads get to see any of this match?
Yeah.
Ellis?
Did see a bit of it, yeah. It was a good game, very good game. Castleford were very impressive, very competent performance, I felt, from Castleford. I don't know what you guys thought.
I know rest of us, myself and the rest of the facts lot, we were there from start. Rochdale put up a good fight in that first half, but I think that second half they just got tired, and that's where Castleford just capitalised on them, really.
We've said a few times this season that Rochdale have come very far from where they was, and they've done absolutely amazing this season. So, and like you said, I think they just turned out a bit flat in second half, and I think Castleford wanted it more, I think.
Yeah.
I think you saw the difference with your man Domingos and his ability, his speed in
Don't mention that name no more.
Sorry.
That's the first time he's been mentioned since his episode. We kind of got it all out in one go. Then Ellis comes along and drops that big L-bomb right there in the middle.
But you know what, his speed and agility was fantastic. And that, for me, was the difference between the two teams, really watching that game.
I think it might be that new chair that he's got.
Yeah, I think so. He got made up just for him in record time, I think. So he looked pretty quick. I mean, he is, but he looked even faster. But no, I got there at half time and I started talking to someone, and they said, I think it was an 8 or a 10 point game. I was like, this is the biggest gap it's been all game. And I was like, what? That's crazy game. And Casa got their stars and their speedsters, but I think Rochdale looked like a great team. Yeah. And I think they probably just, when you're in a final and you're behind, you're constantly trying to catch up, and it just drains you. Talking from experience, but it was a great final. Like I said, Rochdale, I think they surprised everyone a bit in the semi-final. With a great performance over Bradford, and then to get into the final and push Castle all the way. Who I don't think they lost a single game this year.
They lost against
Bradford, right? Yeah. So they're flying high. So yeah, it was a great final, which is great to see. Being down south, I don't see much championship stuff. But for the East and the West leagues to be so competitive is brilliant to see.
So, Rob, you'll have seen a little bit more at Championship, maybe from your little bit of involvement at Bradford Bulls, coaching with the development side this year, the amber team, red team, whichever colour.
Amber team it was. So I've seen how their Championship side has progressed throughout the year. Obviously, Kieran leading at the helm, massive player for them and really good leader. I've seen how they've developed and they improved over that year, and to see how their mentality was after that first loss when they lost to Castleford, it was something that where they were like, right, this is a serious competitor. They knew it was a serious competitor from the start, but it were a really physical game. Obviously, it was difficult for me to see as much games for both the Amber side and their Championship side due to England and Facts commitments. But the games that I did see, it was great. They've just been improving as much as they could, really.
Are you carrying on with your coaching in there at Bradford into next season? Has it been decided?
Yeah, I've had to. So I had a word with Kieran at, I think, there were a few games before playoffs. I had to take a step back. It wasn't from my side anyway, because of England and facts. The games
You
were
just
clashing.
think you were doing a bit too much.
Yeah, exactly, and I couldn't put my full focus into that as much as I could. I could see them during a training, but I couldn't see where they needed to improve during a game. Yeah. So it is something where it was a bit of a sad decision, because I wanted to try and get more into coaching from that side, especially from a team that I don't know much about as well. But Bradford have still said I can come along whenever I want to come train, so I appreciate that, and it is something where I try and nip along whenever I get time.
You're still a fairly young player, or still a very young player compared to some players. So you've still got a long playing career ahead of you.
Oh, yeah.
But is coaching where you see yourself going long term then, once you've come away from playing?
I think for players who, even at my age, it's the wealth of experience I've already got in this game, just to give back to teams, it's what grows that sport. It's what grows any sport. So I think just me trying to help out, whether it's when I'm still playing or towards the end of my career, there's no harm in giving back to teams and just giving them a bit of help to progress and possibly be that next team in the Super League or the next team to lift a grand final.
What about yourself, Joe? Is that something you fancy one day? Step into your brother's footsteps?
I don't think I could do that, but I do love coaching. And you was talking to James Simpson last week. Everyone who knows is still playing. So I think Jack's been down to. It's been down to you guys. Jack Brown's been about a bit. Yeah. Leeds have been down to Cass. I know you've been over to Bradford. I'm sure some of the Wigan lads are jumping around at Salford and Swinton and things. So, for those who have been in the game long enough and have been lucky to reap the rewards from the growth of the game, should definitely give back to it. I love coaching, which might surprise some people because I'm normally shouting at people, but I think I go all right. But obviously with Tom moving up to Manchester, there's a bit of a hole at London Roosters. So there's sort of 2 or 3 senior players, me, Lewis, Mason, Jason, are going to try and fill Tom's shoes between us. So I don't think we'll have it cut out.
Tough job then.
Yeah, pretty tough job. We're basically just going to do what he told us this year and see how we go. But yeah, I love coaching. And like Rob said, giving back to the sport is going to only help it grow. So everyone that can should, for sure.
I'm sure Tom will appreciate that comment, taking 3 people to fill his shoes there.
Definitely that, yeah.
Love that.
He'll love that. So before we do go on to your grand final match after the Championship grand final, which was a spectacular game, we just had a little touch there speaking about why Ellis is here today. And if anybody weren't in the stadium, you probably don't appreciate that we had a power hockey demonstration on in the middle of the the Super League.
It was good fun, yeah. We did get sandwiched in there. It was a nice kind of.
I think everyone was wowed by it though.
Yeah, it was good fun. It's brilliant. It's great. It's great for people, because a lot of people who are involved with wheelchair rugby league clubs who might not be able to play the sport themselves because of the nature of their impairment. I know me, I'd love to play wheelchair rugby league myself, but I've got a dicky right hand that will, fly up in the air the minute I let it go. So, honestly, if I tried to control a manual chair, I'd probably end up at the local police station for ABH. So, actual bodily harm that is. So, for me, I've gone years and years and years wanting to play a contact sport, not been able to play a contact sport. I mean, about 18 months ago, I started playing power chair football. And you saw me playing power chair football at Ellis, you're smashing into people too much. I was like, right, okay. Why don't you try this power hockey? First of all, it's nothing like hockey. It's contact. It's a hockey ball, but you've got specialised bumpers. It's full on contact. It's lots of people with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy. Basically, it's like bumper cars smashing into each other, chasing after a hockey ball. And it was great. It was great for the guys to get to go out on the pitch. Some of the guys who came along today are rugby league fans and are wheelchair rugby league fans involved with clubs in the local areas. Some people have never seen the sport before. In terms of wheelchair rugby leagues. Actually, it was a great introduction to them to the sport, and they were wowed by the occasion. It was great to get on the pitch for the 7 minutes and 56 seconds, I think it was, that we were on pitch, and it was brilliant to showcase that in front of such an audience, and hopefully people enjoyed it. Hopefully people were wowed by it.
We've had a taster of it, Andy, though, when he came up at the start of the season.
We have had a taster. We had a taster session at Batley Bulldogs, and we had some of the running team players from Batley Bulldogs coming. Lucas Walshaw were very keen to jump in a chair, if you remember, Ellis. And I think
So
you've almost
on his leg at
converted
that time as well.
Yeah, we
didn't
couldn't get
He had his knee in a brace.
because his knee was in.
He's about 6'6" as well. He's about 6'6", and his knee was in a brace.
Yeah.
We couldn't get him into a manual chair, but he definitely loved having a go at bashing around everybody in a power chair.
That was brilliant. It was brilliant to get that down, to get that exposure, to get your guys, trying it out was brilliant. So that's something we're really keen to do. That's kind of our strategy, really, is to do as many of these kind of taster sessions, as we call them, as we can, just to gauge the interest, see if the interest is out there. And more often than not, it is. I was listening to Malcolm Kilty's podcast last night about wheelchair basketball and how that transitioned into wheelchair rugby league. And we've got a similar thing with our sport, whereby we've got a lot of people who play power football, which is big football. You can't go. You've got to stay 3 meters away from your nearest player. It's a totally different sport. But with our sport, you allow that little bit more contact. You allow that bit more space. And for people who watch contact sport, who would love to play contact sport, we provide that option, that alternative. So we've done 2 test sessions in Warrington so far. We've done the session in Batley, which was brilliant. And then we're doing the test session this Saturday, actually. This Sunday in Wigan. And then we're going back to Warrington next week on Tuesday night. In between loads of other things, but
Busy then.
Yeah, never-ending chaos, mate. Never-ending chaos.
Just say your tasters are with Warrington Wolves Foundation. Is the Wigan one with Wigan Warriors?
No, the Wigan one is just me. We just set it up. We've just set it up on our own. We're like, look, we're going to do the session in the youth zone just to gauge if there's a sense of interest. We've got a young lad who put that on pitch on the day, Jack Johnson, who many people in the community will know from Dad Andy Johnson, the child to joining Jack. So Wigan's Jack's hometown. They really wanted to do something in Wigan for him and his mates to come along and give it a go. So that's what we're aiming to do on Sunday.
I think it definitely does lend itself to the rugby league name, really. Just the way the hockey is played, the power hockey is played. I know that Rob should have been listening to Wayne's instructions at half-time in the grand final, but I've heard that he couldn't take his eyes off the game that was happening in the middle.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, just a correction on that. We heard Wayne's instructions, and then we all, including Wayne, watched. We may have done it a couple of minutes earlier than Wayne, but we all did watch.
Also, you introduced Wayne to what was going on in the middle.
I wish I could say I introduced. I was wondering what everyone were looking at, and then I realised it were out happening on pitch. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm fixed into this now. Let's see what this is about.
I could see you guys having a little chat amongst yourselves on the sideline, and it was, from my perspective, it's really good to see that. It's really good to see you guys engaging with it, having little conversations amongst yourselves, and I know a lot of the people, because we obviously run pitch, we're not looking at you guys, but every time we had a free, and afterwards somebody said to me, did you have a Halifax heads? We're looking at me all the time. I was like, okay, wasn't expecting that, but thank you very much.
No, it's all good.
It's good fun when you get in one, because I tried one when they came up to Batley, and I didn't realise that you can actually, there's a speed selector on it, so there's a tortoise mode and there's a hare mode, so you go proper turbo down it, don't you?
Well, that's the thing, you can drive an electric chair all day long, and I'll be honest with you, as I say, I'm driving an electric chair since I was 9, and I thought, okay, this isn't going to be too bad. And then I went and got in a power hockey chair, or power sports chair, because we do both air sport and power football, and I went to turn the chair, and it turns at double speed. So I was like, oh my. So even if you're used to driving an electric chair, it's a completely different technique, and actually takes a bit of getting used to. Believe it or not, I usually try and avoid hitting people, so to actually have an excuse to smash into people takes quite the reworking in your mind.
Is that why you were crashing into all cars in the car park?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I can vouch for the fast controls on them chairs, and I think James, one of the Bulldogs players, he got himself trapped in a football goal nets while we were playing, so that was fun.
And then he lost control and then went into all new wheelchairs.
all their new wheelchairs.
All the new wheelchairs.
Well, as I say, Andy, one thing I would say is we're dead keen to, look at communities where we haven't reached yet. So if anybody's listening to this and goes, ooh, I'd love to give it a go, or I'm not able to play wheelchair rugby league, but manual wheelchair rugby league, but I could give it our sport a go, then get in touch, just give it a go, and we'll happily put on a session in your area for you guys to give it a go and see how it is. We're coming to London, actually, on the 30th of think it's 30th of November,
Oh, awesome.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. It'll be
So when your back
good.
finally goes,
It's not far away.
But yeah, so
We'll add a little website link into the bottom of the podcast as well, so people can come and have a look who are wondering what the hell we are talking about right now. We've never actually seen it. So what did you think to the Super League Grand Final?
I thought it was brilliant. What an occasion. I thought both teams were very, very physical. I thought facts, intelligence and the way you play in terms of that intelligence was just incredible. Some of those balls over the top, the nature of hitting the ball over the top to get it over was just fantastic. London, you've
I
got
thought the kicks were
commiseration. What I would say is you guys have got amazing physicality, if that makes sense. And that's really joyous to watch. The kind of almost clash of two styles as to who would be most effective on the day was actually really, really interesting. So it was great from our perspective to see the intelligent game, the nature of the game that was being played by facts, and the kind of, I'm not going to call it brute force.
you're calling them bullies. You're calling them bullies, aren't you?
Not wrong.
The brute force of the London team, that contrast was really, really valuable for audiences who were watching on, I'd say.
What do you think, Joe? Are you a brutal side?
I don't know if aggressive is the right word. We defend hard and we play hard, that's for sure. But I always sit as rugby league in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I watched Wigan v KR on Saturday, and that was a brutal game, really physical. And we try and smash them when they've got the ball, get it as far down their end, and then try and make them go all the way back down the other end. And if you've got a pretty intimidating defence in your way, it's a lot harder to do. So that's the kind of our ethos. But like Ellis was just saying, credit to Halifax, they had something they thought they could exploit, and they did. I think there's 4 or 5 tries from kicks.
Yeah.
And the way they worked them, and they'd switch it. So this guy came up, and then this guy dropped, and as they were switching, who was playing fullback, if you will, they kicked it over. So we were kind of in no man's land. And then when you've got Rack and Job, Jack and Rob on the field, and Kean, is it?
Yeah.
Who's rapid as well. So they're going to bounce up at some point. I think all of them bounced up on the weekend. But no, they had a great game plan and they executed it really well. But I don't think we're too great. It was a really physical game.
Yeah.
But people might be going, whoa. But I remember me and Jack had one tackle and we started laughing at the play the ball. And that might be because we've known each other so long. But I think on the whole, especially at that top level, people love that physicality and that competition. Yeah. Like each time you're chair to chest with someone, that's a competition. You want to win that battle. And that's why that physicality comes out, I think. So I haven't watched it back. I can't bring myself to watch it yet. But I think it came across really well.
You mentioned about physicality in the games and things like that, and having a laugh in tackles and things like that. But at a certain time, there didn't seem to be much laughing, did there, Rob?
I think Rob was laughing.
Well, yeah. I think at one point.
Yeah.
The innocent card.
Yeah, I was innocent for a little while. No, I
You looked innocent, mate.
You get an Oscar at the end of the year, mate. Top tier acting.
You need to heat up a bit at that point.
Yeah. So it's physical. It's gamesmanship. Whenever I mean, I'm speaking to the person who always tries something. So you've always got something where you want to try and exploit in any way that you can. And I've played with Mason. No, I wouldn't say for a long while. I think it's only been for about 1 season now.
Yeah,
It's the
18 months probably.
Yeah. And that's only from an international point of view. I hadn't played with him alongside with him for like a full season.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know how personally we're going to react, to be honest, because it were a heat in the moment thing for me, because I was like, gap was right there, and then it just got threw away, and I'm like, even though I heard the whistle, it still got to me a little bit, and then that's where the action came in, where the ball slipped out. No, joking.
Just trickled along the floor.
You rolled the ball away.
Yeah. We'll say it roll.
Absolutely great pass, straight at the back of the head.
Yeah, and then Mason just got aggressive as well. Yeah, but it were anger from both sides. It was anger from both sides.
End of the day, it was a meaningful grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you saw it at the running game at the weekend, scraps. It's going to happen. It's heated.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it, and you know, and emotions get there as well.
It's-
Don't they? So
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about, TV ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
all I'm saying, I think at minute, as of a few days ago, 1.3 million views just on that one clip from just on Instagram, and it's like people are tagging and saying, well, it's not really something we want to see in the game, but it's rugby league. You're gonna have that little bit. I mean, if we were throwing punches and everything like that, then fair enough. You don't want to be showing that, but it's a little bit of a shirt pull, a little bit of pushing, pulling, happens in everything.
makes it more exciting at times, doesn't it?
Yeah, because then it's there's tension there. There's tension, but I mean, the best thing about our game is that me and Mason, we hugged it off after that game. We're all good because we know not only are we going to be touring together for 3 weeks, we have no malice against each other. I think it's just we've had brutal games, us in London all season long, and I think what a way to end it off with an amazing grand final that it was.
Oh, massive occasion, the setting and everything. I think we were talking about it with James Simpson-Hill, weren't we, last week's episode? How good would it be for all the playoffs to look like that? You know, if you had a central venue,
Yeah, definitely.
lights, smoke, and everything. The sport for me deserves a setting like that every
100%.
time, not just on that final day. Because how did you lads feel when you came into that? It was a Gladiators arena.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe
Yeah,
it.
definitely. It's the first one I've played in ever. I've been playing long enough to hopefully play more than one, but it was my first one. And you know, hats off to Sky, the RFL, Manchester Basketball Arena. I can't remember what they're called.
National
Basketball.
Bellevue.
Yeah, Bellevue. That's it. All fantastic. Like the volunteers there, you know, the people doing tickets out the front, everything, the lights. Like you said, it was just perfect. You just need more of it, don't we? It's hard to do. That time of year for rugby league is so busy. The women's are in their playoff, the Ashes are coming up, the men's are in the middle of their semi-final. We've got our final. We've got power hockey on the field. It's all going on.
We even got given a table, didn't we?
We had a table.
Yeah.
Right corner, out of way.
Going to your head.
Going up in the world. But no, it was a great spectacle, and I think I've spoke to a few people. It came across like one as well, but it was a great final. Like you said, Gladiator Arena definitely.
I think when it comes to the more the end games, do you think it needs to be more centralised?
It's an odd one. I don't know how you feel, because obviously centralised probably means, because in wheelchair rugby you've obviously got the venue. You can't just go to a pitch and get 400 or 500 around. You got to think about. So Nottingham University of Nottingham was fantastic. I like Hull. Manchester's great, but then these teams have earned a home playoff type thing.
Yeah.
So then you got they've played well all year. You've got to take that into account. But I think all of us that play, we'd rather play in great facilities with a good crowd rather than have home field advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe London, because then they've got the 4-hour drive down. But no, I think in the whole, that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Can I ask, you mean by centralised? Do you mean a central location?
Yeah.
So what they did on the playoff system in the Super League is the last 3 games of the playoffs, they played them all at one venue.
Yeah.
So the University of Nottingham were one. Sorry, you just mentioned Hull, Allen, and
Manchester.
Yeah, same place as the final.
the one that won at Wigan.
No, it
Oh,
was
they
just,
just one at Manchester City.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, okay.
I think what you want, there's a couple of elements to it. I think what you want is something that's accessible for people. But accessible doesn't just mean accessible in terms of location. Accessible means accessible in terms of a venue as well, and the facilities within that venue. So Wigan Robin Park, for example, is a very, very good example of a venue that might not be accessible on the face of it, but actually when you get there, it's a very, very accessible venue. It's reasonably easy to get to from the train station or one thing or another. And also as well, this will make you laugh, but there's quite a few accessible toilets in that venue. I don't know if anybody had the same experience I did. There was one accessible toilet in Bellevue.
Yeah.
And there was 4 of us queuing for that one accessible toilet when I went to the loo. And that's when it just becomes a little bit more frustrating. So it's about having the accessible venue, the accessible location, and all the facilities in the right place. And marrying all that together, as well as cost and everything like that, marrying all that together, all those definitions of accessibility, is really, really difficult to do. It's really, really difficult for a governing body to do, and it's tough. It's not easy at all. And I think, as well as that, you kind of want the element, I don't know about you guys, but you kind of want the element of taking the show on the road a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
to showcase your sport. So having that notion of that showcase, around the Heartlands, the 62 corridor, and then also somewhere off it, is kind of really, really important.
Yeah, I think it's obviously you travel a lot more country with you having you always have to travel a good 4-hour trip.
A1's my best friend.
But I think like this year's probably been a better one because obviously from a Halifax point of view, we went all the way up to Edinburgh. Then I think the next week we came all the way down to London or swapped around. So we've literally gone from the top all the way down to the bottom and just made our way all the way down. Obviously that comes with more teams and the game's growing as much as it is at the moment and it's doing amazing. So I think that centralised venue factor, it's not the worst idea. I know we've had it in, I think last few years we've had the grand final in Manchester and Hull. And I love Hull's venue. The only thing I don't like is the parking. Parking is absolutely horrendous sometimes.
20 spaces.
Yeah, so, but you can't really do anything about that. You're looking for the venue that's inside, what facilities they have more than the parking outside. So I think the venues that we do have centralised, I don't see why we can't have Nottingham as, like Joe said, if we could have that as like another centralised venue for more games. But coverage as well. I mean, we did it 2 years ago where we had multiple Magic weekends, and thankfully Sportsmen, I think, recorded
Yeah, I think they were
all of them. I think so. And
I jumped about a bit as well. It was down in Birmingham. I think, did we have one in London? We had one in Meadow Park, one in Birmingham, and one up north somewhere. Maybe Hull.
yeah, it was Hull, I think.
Normally, they have done centralised in the past, and they've worked.
Yeah.
I think they've worked, and they help with each club's personalised costs. It's not just to hire a hall. Yeah. And you normally get more people in because there's a game on before you, or two before you, or one either side, sort of thing. So, I don't know. Maybe they bring it back. I'm not too sure. Fingers crossed. As the league gets bigger, we'll put it out there a bit more and get more coverage. That's the dream, isn't it? So.
Yeah. You mentioned coverage. It's been it got brought up by James Simpson-Hill actually last podcast about it slowing down a bit with the coverage in certain aspects. I think he mentioned last time that it seems to be in some sort of bubble at the moment and it needs to kind of, pop out a bit more.
I think it's not just the responsibility of relying on companies like BBC, Sky Sports. It's a club point of view as well. Yeah. I mean, London stream all their games on YouTube. We try our best, but Sedberg, it's not great. Yeah, it's not good for signal, but we try to do is record them and then put them on YouTube as well.
Definitely.
It all comes from a club point of view, and I can agree that it's slowed down, but it's not just an RFL responsibility. Yeah. We're growing this sport as players and clubs.
Definitely,
so
we're all ambassadors, aren't we?
Yeah, so it's more down to us as well as the RFL. We need to work together, not work separately.
I think it works in cycles, doesn't it? I mean, I love the Olympics. When's the last time you watched an Olympic sport?
I'm an athletics coach.
Well, not the...
I can't remember.
The World Athletics World Championship was on 2 weeks ago in Tokyo, was it?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks back now, yeah.
Did you watch any of it?
No.
I bet when the Olympics is on, you're going to watch every single race. And it's just in cycles, and obviously we're still growing sport, so people aren't going to be like, let's get the World Championship. Well, I think they should. I think it's the best sport in the world. But people who've got a budget for their TV, and what they can show, aren't going to do that. And next year when the World Cup's on, well, I'm sure it'll pick back up. Yeah. But like Rob said, that's a great point. Not playing the violin, but London are not linked to a foundation where, we're sort of player-owned, try and scrap sponsors. We've got VO. We pay extra to stream it live on YouTube. We use our own data on our phones to stream it and things like that. So it is doable. I know Wigan put on Wigan TV, I think. Yeah. Which is great for them because then people will buy into the club to do that. You guys tried bad Wi-Fi. I know Leeds have got their own streaming system. But it is, we're all trying to, even things like this, you're doing this to promote the sport. No one's asked you to do it. And we've got to work together, I think, to get as much as possible. Like, obviously, we want the Sportsmen there, and Sky, and BBC, and whoever. That's fantastic. That's up there. We need to build to that. I'm
going to put this another way. If you're just starting up a club and you're entering the championship, and you're considering entering the championship, one thing or another, and you've got to raise so much money to be able to fund the chairs. I think the chairs are what, 2,800?
You guys have a
minimum end. That's for a club chair.
Let's say minimum, right? So you've got to raise that. Then you've got the cost of streaming equipment and somebody to do the streaming and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap business. It really adds up. So I think that's where the role of governing bodies can be really, really important in kind of mandating things, but also providing funding for things so that it takes it off. Oftentimes the volunteers who are running the clubs, who are running maybe the part of the foundation and doing it on top of all the other work sort of thing. So I think actually it's really, really important that, broadcasters are there, will provide support to clubs, not just on the day of the event, the big event like the grand final, but also throughout the season as to ways of reaching new audiences.
I know the RFL and Sport England things are great on startups. Did you get any chairs from?
We
Few, didn't we?
I think
right in early days we got the funding
World
for
Cup.
6 new chairs. 5.
Yeah,
5 or 6 new
so I know they're
chairs,
great and stuff like that, but it's a good point throughout the year saying, no, actually, rather than having 2 more chairs, can we have this?
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. It's probably quite complex, but can we have, I don't want to plug anyone, but one of them green cameras that follow people type thing. So that's a great point. But I agree with Rob. We got to do it together.
Yeah.
I think it's not just the green cameras as well. It could be like a lot of people have phones. Well, I think everyone has phones, so you can even just figure out a way to record that from there. So it's a bit more difficult with phones. They don't have a lot of storage, especially if you use it for work or social life. But just something like a tablet, a phone. I know John Seeger for many years was doing it on his iPad, taking his iPad up and down country and doing it all from there. So it is possible. It doesn't have to be an expensive camera to start off with. It could be just something as streaming it live. Yeah. Streaming it live on Facebook.
Someone's partner who
We did the live streaming for our grand final in June, in our version of the sport, and my mate was going to do it on his iPad, and then on the day we realised his iPad didn't fit onto the mount that we had, so he ended up doing it on his phone. And actually the quality, if you're just watching on YouTube, is absolutely fine. It's more about people will be forgiving as long as you provide them with a base level of content.
Given the quality.
If you don't provide them with any content at all, then they won't have any opportunity to be exposed to the sport. But if you provide them with a base level of it, that's where it's so important.
I think there is actually a program that you can download as well that does a live scoring system as well as recording it live as well. I can't remember what it's called, but you can put each team. And
there's always a way.
Yeah, I know Jack's done that before a few years ago when I think. Because at the minute, I know for an England side, as an ambassadors of the sport, Tom Coyd, Dave Banks, they want us to record as many of our games, and then we can put it online, for example. Not just for our own sake of reviewing and make the clubs better and the teams better, but also for the fact of let's grow it out a bit more. But I know Jack's done that before with some program, but like I said, there's been plenty out there, so it's not major.
we put our games on.
I was on YouTube about a week after. I was.
Yeah, I know Sheffield do the same as well, don't they?
Yeah, that was filmed on a GoPro type camera on a wide angle, so you can see everything
At once.
at our venue, we've got a balcony on one side, so you get quite a high perspective looking down, which isn't too bad. So it kind of works out quite well on that one.
How important is that media element of things, Joe, from your perspective, in an area that's not a traditional rugby league market?
Yeah, it's not traditional, but weirdly, the South East is kind of a wheelchair league hotbed the last few years. Brentwood have popped up, Bedford have popped up, Woodlands are going strong, Argonauts are still going, Meadow Dragons, London Roosters. So, a few years ago there was like 1 or 2 teams, now there's 5 or 6. But it is really important, and down at Roosters we're really lucky. We've got fantastic volunteers, and you sort of go, why are you here? And obviously they want to belong, and Roosters are giving them something they want to be part of. But there's no like bloke from like Batley who's come down and like, I love rugby league, just want to be involved. There's like blokes from Dartford and from Gravesend and from Medway who've got no link to the sport at all. So we've got a great army down there. But getting our name out is really important. And we spoke to where we play at Barking Sporthouse. Can we put a poster up and one of our shirts? Yeah, absolutely. Just so when people walk in, oh, what's that? And annoying people by sending everything to them on Facebook. Can you share this? Can you share this? So you come into this, and it is kind of just keep doing it and taking a bit of time out to sit there for an hour and go, right, okay, I'll type this up. You can, like you said, there's apps you can download, make a poster, send it out. So it is really important, but like you said, just got to find that person who's happy to do it. 'Cause I'm rubbish at it and I don't like doing it, but we've got some people that do.
Just keeping the subject on you, Joe. Recently, big announcement: the winner of the Wheels of Steel award.
Yeah, it was a great night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I'm not just saying that to be modest. You know, Rob was nominated and Jack, current Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Jack's. Everyone says he is one of the best of all time. Might be the best. Didn't lose a game this year. Treble winners. Beat us twice. I was thinking, a bit of free food. You know, get to see some old mates. You know, get to take my partner up and show a bit more rugby league. And then I was watching because all the highlights were of London Halifax games. I was like, Jack's gone past me there. Rob went past me there. Jack's gone past me there. And I was like, and Joe Coyd. I was like. So I was genuinely surprised and shocked. It was a great honour. You know, I think I might have traded in for a Super League ring, but I've been playing a long time, so to get that kind of recognition is really special, and that definitely doesn't happen without my teammates and my family, like Lewis and is like my sidekick. One probably is actually, but we've played together for 10 years. You know, everyone else down at Roosters is brilliant. My family are really supportive, not just as coach and general manager and things like that, as father and brother, and my partner's fantastic. She couldn't do any more for me. So the whole event was really special. Pretty surprised, but I'll take it because I haven't won much else in my life. So
what's the story behind how you came to find the game?
Yeah, so down south, not much rugby league. Played union till I was about 8 or 9. Got pretty fed up of the frozen grass and and the -2 game days, and so I said to my dad Martin and said, well, me and my brother, we want to play rugby league. About a year later, Meadow Dragons popped up, running game team. Tried a bit of netball, just whatever we could. Rugby league was our thing, but it was more about getting people in Meadow doing sport. And then I can't remember. My dad might have come across it randomly somehow, and just went, "Oh, it might have been 2009, 2010. I think they played in the league. They played France in the league." And then we had a taster session. I think Phil Roberts came down, and the Ireland coach now over at Wigan. So I'm pretty sure it was him. And I was about 10, and my dad said, "Right, you're going." And I went, "No, I'm not." Because obviously, as a 10-year-old, why, you don't think about playing wheelchair sport, disability sport. And I was, why would it? And he went, obviously, I went in the end because he's a big human and he was without it. So I didn't ask him any questions. And as soon as I absolutely loved it. Similar to the power chair stuff, it's just brilliant. You're trying to work everything out, trying to remember how to catch a ball. And I was about 11 then. So we had a few taster sessions. We went, right, we'll get a team going down in Medway. That's evolved into what London Roosters is. So taster session kind of forced to go when I was about 10, 11 years old, and the rest was history, really. So
you weren't quite as young as 10-year-old, but still quite a young player.
You're fairly young, wasn't you?
Yeah.
People forget because he's still so young, but he's been around for about 8, 10 years.
Yeah. So I've been. It feels weird saying that as a 23-year-old, and I've been around for that long. But I started playing rugby league late. I think I started playing about 9, 10-year-old, I think. And then my condition just all of a sudden just seems weird just saying it kicked in all of a sudden, but my story is just that my condition is chronic fatigue syndrome, so it makes it easier because I can sleep like a baby whenever I want to, but it's more annoying when it comes to the times where I don't need to, like when I'm working and someone rings me at last minute. So I was originally looking for wheelchair basketball. My mum found what she thought was wheelchair basketball. We turned up to a session and it turned out to be a wheelchair rugby league. Yeah, so cause I was like, right, I'm kind of interested in basketball because I did all sports, like I did running, rugby, football, like I just played anything that I could, and then turned up at wheelchair rugby league, sat in a chair and kept pushing around ever since, really. So it's interesting looking back on it from a kid who barely spoke a word and was always nervous, and to a kid who
throwing balls at people.
I was trying to figure out another way around it, but it seems these past couple of years I've shown that violence. anger's kicked in a lot more these past couple of years. I've only done it once in English League, then twice last year against France. So wonder who's next.
Well, it may come in a few weeks' time when you go over to Australia. You're going to be teammates again. Have you had an England camp since the grand final?
No.
Or is the next England camp?
Had a few calls, few online calls, but no camps now.
So first one's going to be Saturday. It's been good this season with the camps because we found out, I think after the third or fourth camp who was going to Australia, but Tom and Dave Banks, they wanted to make a decision of let's keep the team together until we go on tour.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really great because everyone was still a team, no matter if you selected or not, and that connection is going to help going into next year, depending if we've got the same squad, everything's unknown, or if we've got a few additions as well.
Yeah. Joe, are you looking forward to getting out there?
Yeah, I can't wait. Nothing better than an England-Australia sports series, really, is there? And we were lucky to go. Did you come in 19?
No, I started 19.
Well, we went in 19, and if you like your sport and you like the sun, basically, it's such a great place, and we're really privileged to be in a position to be sent over there to represent our country and our sport. But yeah, they're really physical, Australia, and I love playing against them because they're so physical. And like we only see them every 3 or 4 years, so we never really know what to gauge of them. Because I played them in 2013. I think we won by 60, 70 points. Played them in 2017, won by 50 points. Played them in 2022, won by 20, 30 points. So they're always making. We don't see them as huge jump. So I'm sure it's going to be 2 great test matches, and then we've got 2. What do you call them?
No. 2 warm-ups and 2 tests.
Yeah. Warm-ups, we're playing Queensland, New South Wales, so probably won't be a warm-up.
Very warm-up. Very warm-ups.
And I've seen some of the stuff they're doing over there, and I've Googled the venues, and they look fantastic. So I'm sure it's going to be a great spectacle. And there'll be a lot of buzz around it, because obviously the men, we're crossing with the Australian men. Yeah. So there'll be a lot of hype around rugby league as a whole over there. But yeah, it's going to be a great couple of weeks.
Especially because we're staying at, first part of it, we're staying in Penrith Panthers facility. So that's going to be great, especially with a lot of us watching running game. I know a lot of the team, few at team support Penrith themselves.
I think bandwagoners, mate. Just jumped on, jumped on.
Yeah, so I'm not an NRL person. I watch every now and again, but don't have a team, so I'm not jumping on that Penrith bandwagon yet.
Yeah, wait to see who wins next year.
Yeah. Oh, when you've been out there this time, it'll be all over. Coming back in Orchid.
What do you mean? I'm getting a Brisbane. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, he's a Broncos. Yeah, of course.
No, I'm not paying the prices out there.
Yeah. So you got a bit more. Actually, you're flying out on the 18th. Did you fly out?
18th or 19th?
19th.
19th. Yeah. And your first match is on Friday the 20th. They actually come out. The day this podcast will be out is actually the day you'll play your first game against New South Wales in Sydney. Mm-hmm. Have you played in Sydney before?
I have, yeah.
Is that where you played? Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney is a pretty big place. We played out west in a place called Liverpool, not far from Penrith actually. So it wasn't right in Bondi and all that, but Australia's huge. Yeah. So the sports facilities are huge, and it was a massive pitch, 15 metres around every sideline type thing, massive crowds. When we played in 2019, we played New South Wales last actually. And the junior Kangaroos were playing France, I think. So, Kalen Ponga came watched, and David Fafita, and AJ Brimson, and, some sort of sat there going, oh my God. And everyone's going, get in there. I'm like, David Fafita, Kalen Ponga's over there. So, yeah, straight to Sydney, bit of jet lag, I'm sure they've got a plan for us, and then, straight into it, and they'll be as ferocious as anyone in New South Wales, so good place to start.
And then it's only a 3-day turnaround, we play Queensland.
Yeah, then we've got to fly up to Brisbane. So pretty full-on tour.
I think it's going to be interesting against Queensland because Jack is obviously coached them when he were over in Australia, and he still does speak with them and helps them from basically from a long distance side of things. So he still likes to help out over there, and I think that's what's amazing because that's where we can actually see how much they've improved over the years and. See, not just from a Queensland side, but an Australia side as well. Like, what have they done since the last time we saw him in 22?
I have to put Jack in a tank, I think, because I think he's going to have a big X-mark on him. But that's what we want, like a great international sport. We want Australia to be brilliant. Scotland are playing Ireland this week. Two games?
No.
They're definitely.
I don't know if they're playing two. I know they're playing a game, but I don't.
UK Armed Forces playing Wales.
November 22nd.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, as England, I'm sure France are the same, them sort of leading nations at the moment. Similar to the other game, we want everyone to be great because that would just make a great international, World Rugby League, more exposure, more growth than, New Zealand have just started up because they've probably seen what's going on. Brazil, how good would it be to see Brazil or South Africa? And that was amazing. I want some of that. So, all these things that are happening in the international game are brilliant.
To what extent are you guys going to be taking a notebook and copying down, what they do to bring back over here?
I think
in terms of the game, but also in terms of everything, the atmosphere around the sport.
I think it's kind of just how Australia play. We have that video footage from there, so we'll study that as much as we can. But it's really difficult to study a lot of things about how they do because we don't see many of their games. Hopefully now a bit more we might be able to, but at the minute it's like once a year when they have their state origin sort of things. So
interstate, and they play against each other.
Yeah,
the team that we're going to play actually tried to smash each other about 4 months ago. But no, we're always trying to learn. Like I'm sure every sport is. You're always taking things from places, and you think that's good. I don't know. I mean, I respect them, but I'm very much worried about how we're going to go.
Yeah.
And what England are doing, but. If they put on a really nice play, then I might take that back to Roosters and bring it back in.
Has Jack been trying to slide any of their techniques over into the England camp? Or?
Not to me.
No.
He's been really professional.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's been saying to them. He might have been sending them secret clips. No, he wouldn't do that.
No. I
He's
think
been filming the full session.
so. With Jack, I think I've had a conversation with him about it before, where he's not going to do anything to jeopardise their improvement for our gain, because then, like Joe was saying, how does that help them build and improve? But then, how does it help us improve the sport in general and the competition? Like, I would love to see a World Cup final where it's England Australia. I don't think of anything better. Like we've had England France for the past few years. When I don't think
it's always
Australia.
No, England Australia in 08.
Oh wait, yeah.
France went out there and apparently thought they were going to smash it and might have not behaved as a team should have the night before a semi-final and lost. And then but everyone since then has been England, France,
Everybody in rugby league love to see that big Australia. England, Australia, that's what it's about forever, isn't it? Unfortunately, as running teams just don't seem to do that good at that. So at least if you were asking to go over there and get yourselves a good result, I mean, it'd be great. 2-0 would be great for us, but a 1-1 would be great as well for the sport.
For the sport, definitely. Obviously, we want 2-0 and we want to, push our stake as the best team in the world. But I mean, from neutral, and when we retire, maybe in a few years or whatever, maybe not.
That's it. A few years. You know, it's on the head.
We might think, how good was it? It was 1-1. That was brilliant. Obviously, we want 2-0. Yeah. Close to 2-0.
And very close to.
Yeah.
There's a question. You watch some of the French guys, and they're a bit older. You've just mentioned the R word there, retire. Surely you must view your longevity in the sport being for quite a while.
I think that's one of the good things about the sport is you can just keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, how old's Wayne now?
50, I think.
Well, 59, pushing 60, I reckon, Wayne.
Yeah.
He's going to text me as soon as
you're actually making me like tempted.
No, he's only 50.
Get him live. Just ask
he does.
You see him a lot more than I do.
You mentioned about ages in the French team, but I'm sure I saw a video of them the other day doing hill sprints out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see that video?
Yeah. I saw it on your
really good stuff.
I'll be honest with you, it's brilliant to see.
Yeah.
Same in that sport, we've got a guy who's almost 80 coming to our sessions every week. And you go the longevity element of it, that's where it's so important. It keeps people going, keeps people involved, keeps people socially engaged.
Yeah.
And that's where, particularly at a community, at recreational level, that's where it's so important for the game to be.
And we've all seen Wayne absolutely smashing it in gym.
Yeah, he loves it. He does that one clip and then he's out.
Film this, lads.
Like we were saying week after grand final, like, let's have a meal, because we didn't get a chance to properly celebrate, because like game finished about 8 o'clock, then we had to travel back. We all met up at Nathan Holmes for 1. Like, let's go out and we'll celebrate week after. And he's been really good with us, because like, no, I'm watching how much I eat and how much I drink. Just then I'm ready for Ashes, and he's been killing it in gym at the minute. And I know the routine he does, where it's just 8 sets of 8.
He's told me about that. That sounds horrible. Why would you do that?
I'm not gonna lie, I've started it. It's horrible, but it works. It does work.
Or maybe after the off-season I'll think about it.
After Christmas.
Yeah, obviously. But no, the longevity is brilliant. And like we was talking about Gilles Clausel's earlier, what a legend. I think I hope I don't offend him, but I think he's in his 60s now.
I believe he is in his 60s.
And he looks
I wanted to say,
fantastic.
but,
Yeah.
And you know, Mason he's in year 2. Mason's 29. Lewis King is pushing 40. He's only been playing 8 years. I think that's one of the great things about our sport. You know, there's not really an age limit, to be honest. You know, if you want to play, we'll find a space for you, type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do love that.
Good stuff. So the Ashes coming up then, and then a big 12 months after that, World Cup, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, back out to Australia as well for it. I think that's just where the game's going to grow again. It's going to peak because obviously we're defending our title, France are wanting revenge, but then you've got the other nations like USA coming back, New Zealand, it's going to be their first World Cup, so we missed out against on facing US, which we were kind of we were gutted about.
The World Cup.
But hopefully we can at least face them and also New Zealand as well, because I want to sit in front of Aka. Like, I want to sit in front of Aka, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good, especially the build-up.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I'm hoping.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to it.
I'm sure the Aussies and the NRL won't mess about when it comes to a World Cup. It'll be amazing.
I think now we're getting a lot of social media footage from NRL now around the wheelchair. It is looking really good. It looks like what they're doing is good, unless they're just making it look good. But I'm sure it really is actually brilliant over there.
As we're there, they're doing like a festival, aren't they? And I think there's like 3 or 4 regionalised teams playing throughout the days, and then there's. I think Queensland might be playing against each other. I saw.
Yeah.
They might have been even this morning.
Yeah.
Or they're doing something, and then obviously our test matches are on, and this is at like Gold Coast indoor super facility, and there's a whole like festival across the whole weekend going on. So they're definitely trying to push it. I know some of the superstars from the NRLW are ambassadors for the NRL. They've just got a new sponsor on board, I think. So you know they don't do things in half by the NRL, but it will be a big year.
Yeah.
Be a tough year for sure. It'll be busy, and like what you were saying, everyone stayed on, selected for the Ashes or not, and you know some of them, you know Tristan Norfolk for example, you know didn't make the squad, but my God, what
a wrecking ball!
Oh,
it's like a wrecking ball.
Foot did not come off the gas at all, and that's great. And I'm sure next year there'll be a few more to come into that. To keep, I'm sure Tom Halliwell will be back next year after his year off. And those that didn't make it this year will be going, we're still here, mate. And a few more. Team might come up into the Super League and everyone goes, who the hell is this guy? Or a new player might get another Mason Billington in this off season who's just come out of nowhere type thing. So I'm sure it'll be a great year. It'll be a tough year for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit less at Christmas.
Definitely one to look forward to. So just to recap then on the matches you have coming up in Australia on Friday the 24th, playing at New South Wales in Sydney. Monday the 27th of October versus Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. Thursday the 30th is the 3 days between that warm-up game and the first test. Wow. First test on Gold Coast against Australia, and then the 2nd of November, second test on both Gold Coast games. Something to look forward to. If anybody can't get to Australia, we're not going, so we're going to be on Bridlington on the 25th of October.
Similar to Gold Coast.
Similar weather. Beaches are going to be the same. But there's a military fundraising festival over there organised by York and Carl Shepherd from Hull. It's on the 25th. That's a Bridlington Bash, and they're raising money for the Military Assistance Social Hub, or MASH. And hopefully we can bring some silverware over from that. There's us, Batley Bulldogs, Bradford Bulls, York and Hull FC. So we're going to have
a great tournament.
It does have the football card that you need to fill out, hopefully. So
if anybody, Carl Shepherd from Hull FC is filling out a football card at the minute. So if you find, I think it's on York social media at the minute, try funding that for their military fundraiser.
I'm good.
Right, lads, thank you very much for all of you joining us. Get the Ashes out of the way. World Cup coming next year, so we may have to ask you back again, see what your thoughts are going to be going into that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think these group ones have worked really well, having a group around the table.
Yeah.
Just sat really close. It just feels funny sat really close.
Close to me, yeah.
Nice and warm though.
Yeah.
It is nice and warm in here. It is lovely and warm in here. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, it's going to be our last episode for a little while, but do keep a lookout on all our social media for all the news, reviews, and
Interview.
interviews. I slowed down there, didn't I? It's a long flight home from Benidorm.
We do have plenty more prepared, and next year's we've got a lot of things in the pipeline, haven't we?
Yeah,
So-
it won't be too long till we're back again on YouTube, but hopefully big, massive, bigger than ever. So we'll see how
That's
we
the
go.
plan, isn't it? Always bigger.
Always bigger, always bigger. And it'll be after Christmas, so I'll be bigger. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.